Welcome to the Head Shepherd podcast. I'm your host, Mark Ferguson, CEO here at NextGen Agri International, where we help livestock managers get the best out of their stock. Before we get started, thank you to our two fantastic sponsors for continuing to sponsor this podcast. MSD Animal Health is perhaps better known as Cooper's Animal Health in Australia and for their Allflex range across the world, with a comprehensive suite of animal health and management products. Honega is a one-stop shop for wool harvesting and animal fibre removal. The Honega team have a deep understanding of livestock agriculture, backed by Swiss engineering and a family business dedicated to manufacturing the best. We are grateful to our sponsors for their support, helping us bring Head Shepherd to you each week. And now it's time to get on with this week's episode. Welcome back to Head Shepherd. You're with Ferg. Great to have you listening along today. It's a great pleasure to have Felicity Taylor on the show with us. Felicity is a area manager for Rabobank out there in Moree. She's also a finalist of the Zanda McDonald Award 2025 of the Australian cohort. A great conversation with Felicity about her role out there and just, I guess, the finance sector generally. Before we get into that, a couple of, I guess, updates from here at NextGen Agri. I'm on the road again this week. You can find me at the Perennial Pasture Systems conference in Ararat on Tuesday. Wednesday, we've got our Angus muster, NextGen Angus muster, focused on young people there. So not too late to register for that event and get along. If you're a young person or know a young person that would benefit from exposure to other peers, as well as some great industry speakers, get along there. Myself will be talking. We've got Nancy talking. We've got Phoebe talking. We've got a whole James Knight and Vet from MSD also presenting around vaccination. So great combination of topics and speakers. So a great opportunity to get along there if you're in that neck of the woods. Thursday, Friday, I'm actually over in South Australia. Canalpin on Thursday, Kapunda on Friday, doing the workshops around EID and the use of data on our sheep system. Myself and Michelle Cousins, along with Jodie Rosé O'Brien, presenting at those workshops. Their morning jobs, so 7:30 start, finish by lunchtime, get into the rest of your day. So if you're in those areas, it'd be great to catch up there as well. And finally, I wanted to mention our Ram Buyers Guides. We've recently released our New Zealand version of that, so that's got terminals and maternals from New Zealand. That's downloadable on our website. We've actually just printed those, so you can jump on the website and pay for postage, and we'll send one out. If you're a New Zealand listener, goes through each trait blow by blow around the sort of what traits mean and which ones might be a priority for you. Obviously, a great passion of ours is to get great information in front of producers. So by all means, get on the website and download that copy or order a hard copy. Also, you can find hard copies with any of our staff. Emma Pettigrew is travelling around the North Island doing a range of presentations. So if you hit her up, she'll have some in the boot of her car. So if you come across Emma anywhere, she'll have some, and any of our team down south will make sure they've got them as well. So by all means, get in touch with one of our team and we'll get one of those to you. Just a reminder, we've had them out for a while, but the Farm Wool Guide for Australia, it's ram buying season in Australia right now. It's a great resource to freshen up on your skills around breeding values. So it's downloadable on the website, or again, same mechanisms. You can order it. We can post them out, or if you get in touch with one of our team, if they're going past, they'll chuck one in your mailbox. Righto, enough of that. We'll get underway with this week's show with Felicity Taylor. Welcome, Felicity Taylor, to Head Shepherd.
Thanks, Ferg. Fabulous to be here.
It's taken us a little while, and I've even managed to be late today. But anyway, we're on to it. So that's the main thing. Congratulations again on being a finalist for the Zanda McDonald Award in 2025.
Thank you. It's still sinking in, to be honest. It's coming up a year since it all sort of started, and it still doesn't quite seem real. Yeah,
no, it's a great thing. And I'm sure you enjoyed the time on the Goldie a couple of weeks ago at the summit.
Yeah. It's just immense. I guess the people I got to rub shoulders with as part of that summit, it's an incredible community, and they certainly welcomed us newcomers with open arms. So it was a very good time.
Yeah, no, I certainly do. And we like to refer to it as a family because it kind of feels like that when you get back together every once a year, which, it really has that feel. Maybe before we get onto your current role at Rabo, I guess your background, how you ended up in ag.
Yeah, absolutely. So I live in Moree in northwest New South Wales in Australia. Moree's an ag community. We're fairly regional. So grew up on a family property, grain property with my parents and my grandparents all in the picture as well. So yeah, families, I guess, had a long history in ag on both sides. Went to uni, studied an ag economics degree. Quite liked maths and economics, which has led me down a pathway into agribusiness banking. So I've been doing that ever since university and living back. Did a stint in Sydney for uni and for work, and then have predominantly been back in Moree, my hometown, for coming up 6 years now, I think. So that time has flown, but it's quite full circle, I guess. I've ended up sort of back where I started.
Yeah, excellent. And sometimes we kind of leave home thinking we never want to come back, and all roads end up leading back there. But I guess your role now at Rabo, I think I read somewhere you're the youngest ever appointed area manager, and obviously a big agricultural area out there in your area. I guess talk us through day-to-day life with Rabo.
I don't know if I'm still am the youngest. I guess I've gotten a little bit older since as that happens naturally. But I guess I'm fortunate to have a really diverse, interesting role that I guess is something that I find challenging and engaging. There's always something different going on, and I get to do that from a place as great as Moree. So for me, it's a really great win-win of getting to feel like I'm contributing to something, greater than myself, being part of a global business and global network within Rabobank, but also being close to family and in a community that I love. So it sort of ticks all the boxes for me personally. Day-to-day, really great mix of spending time on farm with my clients, supporting the team here in Moree, helping them solve problems, game plan, how we're going to approach things. So just a good hybrid, I guess, of supporting people and supporting clients.
As always happens in rural and regional communities, people with a bit of capacity end up having lots of other jobs in the community. You're no exception. You've got plenty of other things on as well.
Yeah, racked up a few. So certainly never short of something to do. Sitting on a number of committees around town, mostly sort of sport related. Really love team sport. I think it is really critical to that sense of place and cultural connection and really, I guess, bringing people in, and that physical well-being as well, I think is really important. So that's something I'm really passionate about supporting in the town. So hence I've contributed to my time to a fair few committees around sport, but just a few fun social things as well that aren't too serious, but I guess still need someone to step in and do a bit of admin every now and again. So happy to take one for the team and help out just to keep all these great things going in our town.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about living in those sort of towns is the opportunity to connect across lots of different levels. It's obviously, well, I'm not an expert on Moree by any stretch of the imagination, but a fairly some pretty extensive farms out there, some big setups growing a lot of crops. What's the sentiment like at the moment?
I don't want to brag too much because I know it's been a very challenging season for some parts of Australia, but to be honest, it's picture perfect. Yeah, we've had an excellent run. We've had some really well-timed rain. A bit more rain now later in September will just bring us home nicely for harvest in October and November. Cotton is a big deal in this part of the world. Our irrigators are pretty smug at the moment. They're sitting on full storages, getting ready to plant shortly. So it's, if prices were a little higher, we wouldn't be complaining. But in terms of climate and season, it's as good as you'll see it. So we're very, very fortunate in that regard.
It's a rural banker's dream, isn't it? Having all their things going well.
It is very positive. Lots of debt being paid off as well, but we'll happily take that hit for all the opportunity that comes from seasons like we've had the last couple of years. We had a bit of a tougher one in 2023 and a dry year, but for the most part, the last 5 years now have been quite kind to us in this part of the world.
Yeah, excellent. Something that intrigues me, and sort of no notice for this question, but the rising costs of gear in the crop and game sort of always are eye-watering for us livestock people that sort of see the $1 million machinery or even more than that, some bits of gear. And is that at what point does that become limiting to, I guess scale will continue to enable those pay down to that machinery, but it seems like it's getting somewhat out of hand, but maybe that's just a livestock view.
Yeah, to be honest, it's the cost of capital across the board and the the inputs more broadly too, just the cost of putting a crop in between machinery, for seed, chem, diesel, labour. is a real inhibitor to, new entrants trying to get off the ground. It's sort of near well impossible, which is going to be a massive challenge moving forward. It's really pushing the industry towards further consolidation, which then brings challenges for communities. That cuts down the number of families in a district, cuts down the opportunities for land ownership and growth. So yeah, it's a really challenging dynamic, and the margin squeeze is very real. Everyone's feeling the pressure of the prices being pretty subdued. Global market is flush with wheat. So, it's a problem that's much bigger than us, and the costs keep rising. So it's a challenge that we're going to have for some time ahead, I think. But yeah, it's pretty staggering what it costs to get set up. As a young person who would love to be running my own farm, the concept of, the amount you need to outlay to get off the ground is, eye-watering.
Yeah, those numbers that are a little difficult to imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, the industries that you work in are known for innovation. I mean, cotton had some amazing innovations, and I don't have any direct contact with the industry, but everything I hear is positive about the approach taken, the innovations. And I guess we kind of have to rely on that will continue, and that's how the cost price squeeze gets solved. And it is, but it is, it's getting, you wonder how many rabbits are left to be pulled out of hats to keep things moving forward.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully, there's some great minds out there working in R&D, but we really need some big technology change that adjusts the way that we farm, because the way that we're going, there are a lot of headwinds economically. And plus, there's all the sustainability type of things and trying to always do things better for the environment as well. So, yeah, we definitely need some really great minds in science and research working in ag to help us combat these issues.
Yeah, and I guess I read an article recently, and sort of my prediction is at least that we get lots of better minds coming to ag, and not that we haven't got great ones now, but being one of the places that does need hands-on and innovative minds. Maybe as AI might take out a few other roles, I think there's still a lot of interest in people coming into food and fibre production, and so I do think we'll continue to attract great minds into our industries, and hopefully, hopefully that is the case, and that enables great innovations to keep coming forward. I think, I don't know what your take on AI is, but I think ag is going to be one of the beneficiaries.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I hope ag as a sector, if you are a scientist or a researcher to apply yourself in, I hope it's really appealing. I mean, I find it really lovely when you go to a field day and you're seeing researchers that don't actually have any farming background, any connection to regional communities, but they've followed that path, connecting with primary producers and talking about their research, and that exchange is so heartwarming. Like the opportunity to see your research applied in such a tangible way, appears to be really rewarding for the people doing the research. So I hope we continue to attract those people into the sector.
Yeah, no, exactly. I guess as a still relatively young person in ag, what's next for you? What do you think? Where would you like to see your career go? That might be a tough question, but I'm sure you've thought about it, so worth asking.
Yeah, no, it plagues me. Like I think it plagues most people. Probably at quite an interesting point in my life of trying to balance your professional and your personal priorities. It's, particularly as a female, I think your 30s can be a pretty challenging decade with a lot of competing demands. So just trying to navigate, what lies ahead in that perspective, and trying to keep, the career fires burning. I really love what I get to do day to day, and that's not something I ever want to give up. So yeah, that will probably evolve as years come. But beyond that, I guess I hope to keep living somewhere regionally. I have done the city thing and just completely burnt me out. And even, you go back and it's nice for a couple of days, but it's hard work living in a city. And I honestly think they're mad compared to how, easy life is here. I live about 2 blocks from the office. You're just getting taxed on your time really in the city. Whereas, I just find living where I live so enjoyable and fun and enriching, having those connections. So I guess, trying to sort of forge those opportunities to progress my career in banking while I'd ideally, living somewhere regionally. So, that might require some creative transport solutions in the future. And we're very lucky in Moree, we do have a direct flight to Sydney where, very lucky the government supports that as a subsidised route. So trying to keep that linkage to where the decisions are made in the head office down in Sydney. But ideally doing it from somewhere like Moree.
Yeah, I guess brings up a really great point. And I think again, I think these things have partially been solved. We just don't use the technology as well as we still could. But I think, I guess we've sort of had this particularly, I guess I was going to say particularly in ag. I'm not sure if that's true or not. It might be just a human condition, but we kind of love the concept of shaking hands and sitting around a kitchen table and having discussions, whereas often we'll drive, whatever, for hours and hours to sit and have a conversation we could have had the same way we're having one right now, which is over the internet. And I guess, and corporate life or corporate world will continue to adapt to allow, hopefully, people like yourself to have, to move through those career path without having to actually relocate. There's actually no reason why that can't happen now. I don't know what your thoughts are, but it feels like to me it's mindset rather than reality, that we have to see each other face to face all the time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the connectivity is excellent. Starlink has opened up parts of Australia that were pretty untouchable previously. So it's not even I don't even need to be living in Moree. I could be living in a property 100 kilometres from town and hopefully still have the same level of connectivity. Very much just a mindset shift, I think. But we are seeing improved representation of regional people on boards, and even just beyond ag, I guess, great to see more country people on boards completely unrelated to ag. So, definitely the influence is growing and something we can all continue to strive for.
Yeah, one, I guess, challenge that we find, we were a completely distributed team. We've got 14 people that see each other rarely. We see each other on a Monday on a digital format. But I guess there's two things that probably I think we suffer as a result of that. One is the ability to build a great culture, and we do that when we catch up. But I think that's a lot easier if you're seeing each other consistently. And then the accidental conversations that or the old sort of, I don't know, bit of osmosis that occurs if you overhear somebody on the phone and then realise you can contribute to that. And sort of, I think there's some of that accidental stuff that we probably miss. I don't know what your thoughts are there. I'm sure you're far away from most of your team most of the time.
I'm actually really lucky. I see everyone in my team, also my Moree team,
cool.
every day. So I know that's been a big challenge in the corporate world as we've exited COVID, trying to get people into the office. And I feel so fortunate that, all my team is happy to come and spend the time together. In saying that, I guess my peer group is all remote, so the other branch managers around New South Wales for Rabobank. So, I agree, those, informal learning opportunities. So very conscious, I guess, of trying to keep close communication with them. But, seeing each other every day here is such a game changer.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's something something I'd love to be able to do with my team. But anyway, it's not, if you want to run a business all over the joint, it's hard to achieve.
Yeah, pretty challenging from an HR perspective too. We've accumulated a pretty big team in a town like Moree. We're probably the second biggest agribusiness banking team here in town. And, a lot of the other banks have sort of moved away and decentralised because of the challenges in securing talent in a town like Moree. And I totally appreciate why they've landed with the models that they have. But, it doesn't come without its challenges. You've certainly got to work hard to get good people on the ground somewhere like here where, we mightn't have the best educational health resources available. So it's challenging, but I think it's worth it.
Even with a cheerleader like you in town, it sounds like you must be running for mayor sometime soon.
I'm screaming Moree from the rooftops, but we're lucky. There's so much good stuff going on here, and I think more people should experience places like this.
Yeah, and I still think that's where we end up over time. I think the sort of centralisation of humanity's got to stop and go the other way at some point, but we'll see how close I am with that prediction. I've recorded it a couple of times now, so I'm hoping it turns correct in some point in time. There's a couple of questions we ask everybody, Felicity, and I haven't given you any warning on these, so this is probably unfair, but we will give you time. The first one is, what's the last thing you changed your mind about? And I guess what we're looking for there is something a little bit more significant than what you had for breakfast, but it might be what you had for breakfast. But
no, that's all right. Did my research. I'm not a first time listener, so
excellent.
Yeah, something that evolves every day is my view of how to lead a team of people. Bankers can be pretty funny people. We're all different. We're certainly not all cut from one mold. It also can be a pretty dry industry at times. there's certainly a lot of admin. There's dull days, there's great days as well. But I guess always changing my perception on, maybe not feeling like I have to be that inspiring as a leader, that I need to have all the answers, or that I need to be the expert in sort of anything. I think sort of maybe lowered my expectations of leaders a little bit, in that just trying to do my best to be a good person and be compassionate and kind and fun. Like, that's a huge thing of the culture of working here is, just trying to make sure everyone's having a good time every day. They're all fortunately really smart people and really capable. So I don't really see it as my role to inspire them, but just support them, get their feet on the ground and give them the tools that they need to excel. So, I think I'm always maybe backing off a little bit in what I think of leadership, and trying to be a better, well-rounded person as a good leader rather than a guru in anything.
Yeah, that's an awesome observation. And so you hear that comment sort of, I guess, along the lines from a lead from the middle or whatever, which I think is so much more powerful than kind of being out at the forefront. Well, you need both sometimes, but I think that concept of leading from the middle is a really, really good one, rather than sort of having to have all the answers. It's often about getting out of the road, I find, rather than trying to have all the answers. Just as I think Liam Lanigan said at the summit, hire smart people and give them big problems to solve, or something along those lines. And that's certainly works for me.
Definitely hire the right people to begin with, give them the tools and support them, and let them run free, really, I think.
Yeah, excellent. And then I guess, well, not really on similar lines, but second question, as you'll know, if you have listened, is who's the best person you've had the opportunity to learn from? And as you know, we're happy to accept a few. You don't have to have one, but
that's very kind of you. We'll mention a couple. Was fortunate to have all four of my grandparents in my life growing up. My mum's mum is still alive as well, about to turn 96 next month.
Awesome.
So she's having a cracking run. Yeah. And it's funny, I don't think it's that uncommon that people aren't probably maybe like their parents, but probably throw back a lot of traits to their grandparents. Sheep genetics, I don't know if that flows through again as well.
Certainly doesn't human genetics, knowing my children.
So I think, the older I get, the more I appreciate the things that I've taken from each of them. And, they've just, like, the careers they forged in a different time, the hardships they overcame, the humility in their approach on both sides of, both mum's parents and dad's parents, incredibly hardworking sort of pioneers of agriculture. And, realistically, we've got pretty crazy these days, particularly I feel like I do, sitting in an nice air-conditioned office and tapping on my keyboard all day. But there's so much I'm proud of in what they achieved, and hopefully I can, continue that family legacy on. But on a much lighter note, I had an ex-colleague, a lady by the name of Claire Merrifield, who used to work for Rabobank, who was a huge influence on me professionally. Claire is an absolute wild card of a human. I don't think she'd mind me saying that. But Claire was the first person I worked with that really invigorated that sense of fun, that, like, she's so lively and energetic. She'd come into the office as an absolute, cyclone of a person. And, some people maybe found that a little bit much, but I think she was the first person that really, told me as I was probably 23 or something, and feeling that I had to take myself really seriously and, be a professional corporate banker. And she's like, no, just be yourself, enjoy the journey. Life's too short, and really you'll be much better at your job as your authentic self, and if you're having some fun along the way.
Awesome. There's a lot people can take from that last couple of lines, for sure, 100%. We are getting close to award application time again, and so we're getting wound up into the Zanda McDonald Award. For those people out there who are thinking of applying, I mean, some people are going to be thinking they're not up to it. Some people are going to be wondering what it's all about. I guess, what's your tips for people out there who are thinking about applying, or even if they're not thinking about applying, but if they're young people in ag that are doing something that is worth telling the story about?
Yeah, I think they all should be thinking about applying. I probably thought I was a little bit left field as a finalist for the award. I guess the McDonald name is associated with the beef sector. There's really strong representation from beef in the award, and also, I guess, not being a full-time primary producer as well, coming from a support service to agribusiness. So, as a cotton and grains banker, I thought I was a bit left field to be involved, but actually my perception on that has been completely changed. There was lots of really diverse people that I met at the summit. So I guess don't self-exclude if you don't think you fit a specific mould for what a Zanda McDonald Award applicant should be, because that certainly hasn't held me back in my experience. But yeah, I think what I've really loved about the experience is maybe, it felt a little bit stale, or that you're on the hamster wheel a little bit, and it was just such a good opportunity to branch out, push myself, get out of that comfort zone, have to put the public speaking hat on a little bit, and the networking, and was a little bit rusty. It had been a while between having to really finesse that networking skill. So I think anyone who, particularly living remotely, you it can feel a bit same sometimes. So, if you're looking for that push and to mix up and develop yourself, can't recommend it enough. They've been a great network and a great experience. So yeah, thrilled for what's to come too. I think the journey's only just beginning, and looking forward to some trips over to New Zealand in years to come and come and see what's over there.
Yeah, excellent. And hopefully you'll support me in the sort of thought that, win or finalists, is sort of basically, other than who gets the name on the trophy, it's pretty much the same thing in terms of the network that opens up and the opportunities that opens up, and those conversations that you can be part of. So it's well worth getting. Everyone's treated very similarly, and it's a great network to be part of.
Yeah, for sure. It's pretty crazy. You look through the list of the past winners, but the past finalists, how am I in a cohort with people like this? It's pretty surreal, for sure.
Yeah. Well, as a judge, I think the same thing. I don't even know how I'm in a position to actually critique these people. And often you're sitting there listening, and you're kind of writing notes down, not because you're critiquing someone, because you're actually taking notes because they've got really important and interesting things to say. So it's a fantastic group of people. Felicity, it's been great to have a chat. It took us a while, but it's been well worth it. Congratulations again on being an award finalist. Looking forward to hopefully seeing you in Christchurch for the summit next year, and look forward to many conversations in the future.
No, thanks, Berg. Plan on being there, and wonderful to have met you through the Zanda community, and look forward to many great events to come.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again to Heineken, who are proud world leaders in the manufacturing and supply of professional sheep shearing and clipping equipment. Thank you to MNSD Animal Health and Norflex Livestock Intelligence. They offer an extensive livestock product portfolio focused on animal health management, all backed up by exceptional service. We thank both of these companies for their ongoing support of the Head Shepherd podcast.